Hello, how are you guys doing? I'm doing good today. We got the kitties back yesterday. God, that was yesterday. Wow. Kitties are back. Hi. Hi, hold up. Hi. Do you want to tell them all about your trip, Abby? Hold on. Abby. Hi. Hi.
What did you say? Well, go tell them about your trip.
And then Herman's over there in the window, I think. She's so baby. Sorry. Kind of interrupted the intro song for that, but it's worth. How's the state of your place right now? More or less better. I would say like the bare minimums of like being able to do life has returned. We're not at like, you know, everything's perfect, but like the walls are back. It doesn't smell moldy. We got the kitties back. Kitties. Hey, Abby. Hi. Oh, look at you. Rattler says that he loves you. Abby, did you hear that? Abby. Okay, good. We're still waiting for word back from the insurance, but I've got most of my stuff back. Some of it we left at my parents' place just because there were a lot of guitars. I have 3 still there. And I wanted to be able to, like, you know, do that, bring the kitties home, and that was more important. And then I also wanted to go play Warhammer, which, speaking of Sinfessions, I've got one for you. We're talking about, if you haven't seen this segment before, I'm going to go ahead and get you guys the link. It's retrospring.net/@RevScarecrow. So I went to Warhammer. All the tables were full. You don't need to know anything about Warhammer to hear this story, by the way. So I'm sitting there just waiting for someone to play, right? Waiting for a table to clear up. And because the guy was at the place was like, look, I know you're like, you know, browsing or whatever, but like if you need a table, like come get me and I'll get you a table. And I'm like, that's cool, man. I'll sit down for a bit. No worries. He's like, all right. So I'm sitting down and there's these people and it's not Legos, but it's like Legos, those little mini Lego things. And they're building like a Sylveon. I think that's right. The grass starter. Leafeon? Anyway, they're building the grass evolution. It's not a starter. Whatever. They're building that, and it's not a grass starter, sorry. Yeah, Leafeon. So yeah, they were working on that, and they're like, man, I wish there was one for Ditto. And like I did that thing that sometimes I like slur my words. It's like not a huge speech impediment really, but just I notice it more because I'm a streamer. And so I said, well, you can make it a Ditto if you fuck it up real bad or you mess it up real bad. But I didn't say Ditto. Instead, I slurred my words and I said, you could make it a dildo if you just mess it up real bad. And they like kind of like chuckled under their breath. I said, I mean, ditto. And then and here's the kicker. They just kind of like left shortly after that. And so it was just back to me sitting there in awkward silence by myself, not playing Warhammer. I didn't get a game yesterday. So yesterday was just, I don't even know if that counts as a speech impediment, but yeah. And so, like, I didn't get to play Warhammer, and the only thing that I ended up doing, and the reason I'm going to Warhammer is that way I can have more, like, social interaction and stuff. Just, it's good to get out and do things. It's not good for me to be up in my head all the time. So I'm getting out doing things, but my social interaction for that day, yes, I'm going to be the fucking dildo guy now. I don't want to be the dildo guy. You know what I mean? They're going to be like, oh, it's the dildo guy. He's come to play Warhammer again. Dildion. Anyway, those are the kind of things that I want to be reading about when you post here. I don't want to hear about some like I don't want to hear about like depressing shit that happened. We're going for like cringe. I just decided that I was at a board game store and everyone around me is like as cringe as me. So I just sort of like rolled with it, because if I walked away, then it would be even weirder. I mean, like, a guy came up and talked to me a little while after, and he showed me like his 3D printed knight. It's like a giant robot, and he was real proud of it, and it's just like massive tits on it for no reason. Like, it's a robot, it doesn't need them. And we're talking like would get you banned on Twitch levels of titty on this thing if you made that your VR chat model or whatever. Like, just ridiculous. And he's like, oh, it's funny. And I'm like, this is why I don't, because I was about to get it into like, man, I don't really like 3D printing, because all it is just like whatever with big titties, right? And it's just like, dude, man. Herder, Slanesh means tits and dick. I really like that new Slanesh model for Sigmar that's just like a big dude. Like a big chunky fat dude on a palanquin. Like, that's also very Slanesh, you know? Like, I want to see a little bit of that too, not just like, oh, here's my corrupted sisters of battle. You know? Or whatever. I'm tired of that. I'm tired of seeing that kind of stuff. Slanesh means excess and perfection in all forms. I think I've even seen this dude's okay, hold up. I'm gonna open up a private browser, because I almost just searched that. Imperial Knight Warhammer big tits. Like, I'm pretty sure someone sent me this at some point. Cringe? I'm not seeing it. You'll know it when you see it. It looks ridiculous. It's just so over the top. Hello, my name is Blank. Thank you for the 17 months of support. Anyway, we're gonna read some of these Sinfessions. And we're gonna start with this one. And you'll hear the Abby sing the song of her peoples in the background. Captain Vinesauce, thank you for the 44 months of support. It's very cool of you. Bring that down a bit on my end. I was the art kid, took art classes and everything. I think it was freshman year in some group activity in history class, our topic being Christianity. One of the members was drawing a general cross. Being a stickler for details because of my realism art classes at the time and social ineptitude, I said, wait, you're not going to draw Jesus dying on it? You got to include the details, or something along those lines. The group just looked at me like I was confessing to murdering their kids and didn't say anything. Amazing. This is exactly the kind of thing that I want to see. Include the details of the cross. This is some weak shit. You're just trying to avoid having to draw good anatomy. Get it together. Draw a dying, emaciated, tortured man. Now. Orthogonal Caster, thank you for the gift sub. Yeah, we're starting off strong. This is great. Thank you. I spent years learning how to draw different body types and attracted fat fetish furries to my work somehow. And then I spent 2 years producing art to appeal them, even though I personally am not sexually into that at all. There was another sub as well. Captain French Toast, my name's blank, and then Orthogonal Caster. I believe I got everyone. Spaghetti DePrezi. Thank you for the 33 months of support. I'm not the dildo guy. Hi, Abby. Hi. Normally that'd be annoying, but I miss them so much that it's not. KGB343. Thank you for the 14 months of support. Hi, Abby Babby. A lot of people say it's real easy to get it's real easy to get furries to like commission you, but like it's not, man. The music's overpowering me. Okay, I'm gonna bring it down even more then. Sorry about that. You gotta, like, in order to pick up furries for your work, you actually do have to, like, hi, Happy. You do actually have to, like, I don't know, draw very niche stuff, because I feel like there's a lot of people trying to do that, and that's just not my thing. But look, get that bag, dude. You know, there's more shameful things you could be doing, you know? Like, you could be working at Walmart or something and have someone come up to you and they'd be like, hey, I'm doing a new TikTok challenge or something. And it's just like, you have to watch them, like, they're like, hey, can you film me? And then they do a, like, really poorly choreographed dance. And it's just like, fuck. I'm not getting paid enough, but maybe they'll tip me. I'm not shaming people who work at Walmart. I'm just saying Walmart is a bad and rough job. You know what I mean? Like, it's not. Then just leave. I pity the people who work at Walmart. Dude, I watch this stuff. I work at Walmart. If I accepted a tip, I'd get fired. Dude, I accepted a tip when I worked at Randall's and we had the same rule. And you know how I got away with it? It was out in the parking lot. It was sleeting. And this little old lady handed it to me. And I was like, you know what? If I argue with this lady, she's going to come in and complain. Or she's going to catch a cold because she's this little old lady. Fuck it. I'm taking this $20. They don't pay me enough to not tell me to take tips. You know? Just thank you. Okay, bye. It was nice of her. I still remember that lady. I'm not shaming people who work at Walmart. Like, no, I watch their subreddit and it's just like, damn. If you think you have a shit job, follow the Home Depot, Lowe's, Walmart, CVS, and Sherwin-Williams subreddits. And you'll find out how not bad of a job you've got real fucking fast. Oh, I haven't seen it. There's an HEB one? I've got to get on that. Holy shit. That's awesome. I don't comment because it's meant for like employees to get their grievances out, but holy fuck. So yeah, if you can do some furry fetish shit, it's not as rough as working at Walmart. Be thankful of the job you have. When I thank people for subscribing, for, you know, all that kind of stuff, it's because I don't have to work a rough job like that anymore. And you guys are amazing, and I thank you so much for that. My first sexual experience at age 13 was a giant Tigger plush. I cringe every time I think about it. Okay. Okay. I love the smell of gas station porta potties. It's a very specific smell, isn't it? Sins 2 in a row. Yeah, the pink soap. There's a very specific soap that they use at the bathroom at Austin Bergstrom Airport. And I'm like, yeah. It reminds me of the first time I picked my wife up from the airport because we were long distance for a long time. And I got there super early because I didn't want to be late. and I was just chewing gum because A, I wanted my breath to smell good, and B, I didn't want to like throw up because I was feeling like I was gonna because I was nervous. And so I kept going to the bathroom, like, just because I was like, I don't know what to do. Like, I went to the bathroom to like cool myself down, like rub my face in some water and stuff like that. And so like that smell of like pink cheap ass soap has a very good memory. Anyway, yeah, it's the soap, I think, is what you like. Just get some of that. I don't know what they put in it. It's probably not good for you. That's so romantic. I know. I was a fucking mess. In high school, my friends and I would frequently troll each other with the most edgy, over-the-top, borderline offensive, unhinged, not safe for work fix we could get our hands on as a battle of wits. Woody got wood? This led to me finding out that there's a surprising amount of Bible/fiction, and I don't know if that's a sin and that I find some of them amusing. What is slash fiction? Is that like so-and-so slash so-and-so? People have been down bad for it's shipping. Okay. It's usually gay fiction. Okay. I would imagine that like the reason that there's this kind of stuff going on and why there's like, you found the titty titan? Yep, this is it. Yep. This is the one that the guy proudly showed me that he had. Give me half a second to like pull that up. This is so much worse than you think it is. You can tell it's going to be bad because it's caked up. He showed that to me, so I'm like, you know, my like slip up where I said dildo instead of ditto. Like, I'm not the weirdest freak in the store. That was an obvious slip up. Versus this guy spent time 3D printing this. Can that even be brought to a tournament? Not to an official GW tournament. You might be able to get away with it being brought to like a, I don't know, like a local tournament or something. Because I would imagine that a majority of that's 3D printed. And the general rule is that 90% of it needs to be GW plastic. And like 90% of that is tits. So like, there's no way that's like, yeah. Just don't do that, man. If you got a 3D printer, do better things. Like, I'm tired of orcs that they're flipping people off and like just XYZ character gender bent with huge fucking tits. It's just like, come on, man. I don't want that. This is why I haven't bought a 3D printer. I don't know where to put it. I don't know how to keep the cats from getting to it. And like, people act like I'm like super like sex negative or whatever. Like, I'll get emails about it and I'm like, no, I just don't want to participate in your fetish. That's all it is, you know? Just don't send me, don't make it so I have to interact with your fetish. That's all I care. That's all I care about. Anyway, yeah, I think that the reason that you have like this situation going on is because a lot of people, when they were like growing up and they were hitting their teens and they start like learning about sex and stuff, it's because they're in church and it's like nuns and whatever the fuck this is. Like, yeah, I can see it. Church makes nun fetish. Yeah, honestly. When I was little, I really wanted a new Pokemon figure. But I knew my parents wouldn't buy me one. So while looking around the toy aisle at Target, I cautiously tore open one of the packages and shoplifted a Pelipper figure. No, I do not have the figure anymore. More just childhood theft. That's all you guys did was eat hot chip and lie. Sin for stealing, but this time at least it wasn't from like school. We need a Sinfession bingo card. Yeah, weird sexual experience and stealing. Actual childhood trauma. Like, those are good ones to put on there. Theft should be the free space though. A while back I paid for a soda and then went and got a slushie in that cup instead. I guess that's a sin. When I was very young, 5 or 7, I was sick with diarrhea while over at my aunt's house. This does not end well. I haven't read it yet. Over the course of a night, I had used up all the toilet paper and didn't know where there was more, so instead I resolved to try and keep it in. This did not go well. Long story short, I shit all of my and my cousin's underwears. Who shit my pants? Unironically, you wake up the next morning and you're like, all right, time to get some clean underwear. Oh, you can't. Your 5-year-old cousin shit them all. I don't know. Okay, so here's the part where I don't think that this is real. Why did no one do anything for you? Like after the first time you shit through, like once you shit through your own underwear, like somehow you've got to go find other underwear? And so you got to be like, where is more underwear? I've shat all mine. Like, no one helped this kid find toilet paper? No one made a late night CVS run? As a kid, I kept a lot of ailments to myself so I could see this. Jesus fuck, guys. What? Next one's probably fake. A friend of mine is into Fat Bastard NTR, and I linked him Jabroni Mike streams, and he said he got the satisfaction from Mike streams. Just gonna. There you go, Angel. Thank you for the 75 months of support. Sin for lying. It's a fancy way of saying cuck porn, but the guy who's cucking is fat. Show Mike this? No, he doesn't need to know this. Sin, because this cannot be real. Like, no. When I was a kid, I'm calling that one fake and is a sin. Yeah, Mike is not fat. First off, so like he doesn't have fat bastard energy. You could give him bastard energy, but I'm not gonna say he's fat bastard energy. When I was a kid and still into Harry Potter, hate it now for obvious reasons. It's okay, you don't have to say that. I would try and make the most insanely self-insert fix, time travel, secret child, etc. To the point that I offered an idea to a classmate that was promptly shut down because having a character be a child of Voldemort was just too much. Ironic now that a basic canon musical where Voldemort does have a secret child or something like that. Dude, why? I don't want to learn any more Harry Potter lore, but it keeps being thrust on me. Like, I know enough about Harry Potter at this point. Yeah, Mike is not fat. I've seen him in person. He's like average weight. He's What's more painful, Twilight fanfics or Harry Potter fanfics? Man, why do you have to choose just one child to kill in that situation? Is Mike tall in real life? He's average height, average weight. Shorter than me. But that's pretty much everything. Man, I hate this because, like, why Voldemort? I guess because you gotta have, like, that, like, ooh, edgy, you know? I got fostered my homie's girlfriend's corn snake. To my shame, he died on me in like 2 months. She cheated on me a couple months later, so I don't have too much Catholic guilt over it. Okay, hold up. I fostered my homie's girlfriend's corn snake. To my shame, I would assume the corn snake, died on me in like 2-ish months. She cheated on him multiple times later. Who died? The snake or the guy? I would assume the snake because, like, he doesn't have too much Catholic guilt over it. Yeah, sin for making me try and figure out what the fuck you were talking about. At work, I was supervising a younger worker who always bugged me to leave work early because I'm not a fucking square. I usually let him go 15 to 20 minutes early. Of course, on his last day of work, that was the one day that my boss visited the location after the kid insisted on leaving 45 minutes early. He got in trouble with his boss, and I didn't because I had worked there for years. Am I based for letting him go early or cringe for letting him take the fall? He was quitting anyway. Right? It says last day of work. So, like, let him take the fall. You still work there. I don't think he cares, you know? Like, listen, if, like, I worked at a location, you could be like, dude, yeah, not only is Rev, like, that guy who used to work here, he's a total prick, you know? He ate all the toilet paper or, like, whatever. I don't give a shit. Like, just as long as you don't implicate me in some crimes, like, yeah, my last day, PvP, just whatever the fuck you want to say that I did, just let me leave first. And then I did it. Whatever. Fuck it. I don't care. He ate all the toilet paper and shat everyone's underwear. Good callback. Yeah, I would say that's fine. Base for letting him go early. He wanted to go early. Like, what's the... I once said I was atheist at my theology class at Catholic school. My teacher called me out of the classroom for an entire period to think of what I said. The principal called my mother in for a meeting to talk about rediscovering my faith. I mean, no sins found here. Like, I would assume that if you're going to a Catholic school, like, your parents are probably fairly Catholic, so that was actually probably a problem. I went to a Catholic university when for school, for art, and I'd be wearing shit like this like every fucking day, so I didn't give a shit. Like, whatever, like, I'm just gonna do art, man. Like, I don't have a problem with your religion. I got a problem with, like, some of the people that follow it. But, you know, kids send their kids to Catholic school in New Orleans because public schools are terrible. Yeah, okay. Yeah, that's totally fine. When I was a teenager, I used to play Final Fantasy XI. Hold up. That's fine. I didn't want to be old. It came out in 2002. So you were a teenager 21 years ago. Okay. Anyway, one day I went off on a mage in the party. So this is the MMO one. In the party who let me die multiple times. There's a steep penalty for dying in Final Fantasy. Turns out another person in the party was her husband, who said that she was pregnant and I made her cry. I responded, well, I hope that she's a better mother than a white mage, and left the party. Bruh? What is your damage, man? Like, yeah, I'm gonna go with Ben, because, like, you didn't need to do that. Like, you need to calm down when you're playing video games, my dude. Like, what the hell is that? Yeah, that's kind of a you need to touch grass moment, but that's okay. That's what we're here for the cringe. One time I faked being sick to get sent home, but I didn't want to be a liar, so I tried to make myself throw up so I could tell them and not lie. I tried a whole bunch of things and nothing worked, and then I legitimately got sick. I mean, yeah, I've done that. I mean, I've talked about it. Like, when I worked at Randall's, I tried to bite my, like, I was like, if I start coughing up blood, they'll have to send me home, right? Like, the part of my brain that was like, you could just fucking leave, did not appear. And I was like, how can I cough up blood? If I start biting through my tongue, I'll start bleeding enough that I can be like, hey, I'm not feeling good. I have to go home now. So I tried to bite through my tongue while I was working there. Don't do that. You can die. I didn't. I couldn't bite my tongue hard enough to, like, bleed. It just hurt my tongue. Yeah, this is why I'm like, listen, like, the people who work at, like, if you think you have a hard job, go fucking read what's going on at Walmart. It's a very different vibe than, like, oh, you must be an idiot if you work at Walmart. No, that's not. How bad is that place? It was, I mean, it's customer service. There's a very different vibe of, like, that job is really rough. Oh, Sam's Club, I'm sure, is another one of those. Like, people are fucking animals when it comes to customer service. Like, that Randall's job was one of the most defining moments of my life. I'm here as a streamer now because I was like, I straight up cannot do that again. I just don't wanna. I just don't want to go back to that shit. Like, holy fuck. HEB pays well, but they're gonna expect a lot out of you for it. At least in Austin they do. I don't know about elsewhere. Back in middle school, there was a huge exam that was going to happen, but I wanted out since I didn't. It was gonna happen, but I wanted out since I didn't happen. He wasn't born. I asked my friend if they had any peanut butter candy bars due to me having peanut allergies, but they didn't, so I bit into a Butterfinger. I was hospitalized and had to do the exam later. Yeah, I think he meant that he didn't study, but, like, he just didn't exist, which is just an awful, like, this feels like a continuation of my story. Jesus fuck. Based, but dude, it's not worth it, man. In elementary school, I'd routinely fail to turn in my homework assignments so I could get out of going to research or recess before lunch. My school was built in 1920, and the room where detention was held was one of the few rooms with good AC unit, and there's a little shade on the playground, especially towards the summer. It was a win-win situation for me, and I felt so smart being able to cheat the system. Wow. Yeah, honestly, that's kind of based. I respect this, you know? And then after recess, he's like, "Oh, I found it." Yeah, there you go. So then you don't have to. And like, if your parents ask, you'd be like, "There's just no air conditioning anywhere." I don't know whether or not I should show this one. I don't know if it is. I'm gonna go with Sin. Once I almost threw up when I found out that there was a female to male in my all boys dorm when he came out of the shower and his towel slipped. You could say transphobe moment, but they did use the proper pronouns. So it's like, it's still a transphobic. Yeah, that's why I was like, I don't know if I want to read this one, because it's like, I mean, if you were expecting a guy to have a cock and then like they didn't, you'd be like, whoa, what the fuck happened? A little bit, I guess. I don't know. Let's just move on. Sin. No penis? Cringe, I guess. I used to work retail. Store was closing in a couple of minutes, so I went to check the men's room to see if there are any customers. Turns out someone had flooded the bathroom and shit was everywhere. I closed the door and walked up to my manager's office and asked if I could go home early in order to get it. Amazing. Could I go home early in order to get out of cleaning the disaster? My clueless manager, who had no idea what was awaiting them, said yes. I found out during my next shift. It took the rest of the clue a couple hours to clean it all. Okay, you suck, but you're not getting paid enough to do that. Like, there's no fucking way in retail you get paid enough to deal with that shit. But also, you forced all your coworkers to deal with it. So, like, I'm gonna go with Ben on that one. Based, but also sin. I let the intrusive thoughts win at summer camp and ate a whole spoonful of craft glue. It doesn't taste good. I mean, yeah. What'd you... Yeah. Yeah, why a spoonful? Like, that, I don't know what increment I would use to, like, how much. Also, like, I would imagine it tastes like it smells, because most things do. Like, you ever notice how, like, when you're on an airplane, nothing tastes, like, what's the deal with airline food? It's because your nose is fucked up from the pressure change, and you can't smell things as well, so you basically can't taste it. That's what's up with airline food. I was once forced to have a date for high school prom. Banger start to a sentence. But I was never really interested in anyone since I'm on the ace spectrum. Unfortunately, I had to ask someone who was a friend of me, had to force myself to kiss them too, but they would later move to the other side of the country. They wanted to keep me in contact on Facebook, but I had no feelings for them aside for friendship and didn't really want to have contact with them. The fuck is prom? Prom is, in high school, they have like a big to-do about like, it's a dance, they have music, it's awkward. I didn't go to prom because I was homeschooled and that's how things work. It's a very formal thing. It is very expensive. I went to a few school dances in middle school, and I was like I did not dance with people. I just hung out with my friends and like acted like jackasses near the like refreshments tables. I didn't dance. I didn't hang out with people. My parents still took me. But yeah, I had no feelings for them aside from just friendship. I mean, The bit I'm curious about is like, the fuck is wrong with this? Like, what happened here? What is this part of the sentence? Who forced you? Fuck them. When I was a child, I took my little brother's Game Boy Advance and his copy of Pokemon Sapphire. I had the sudden urge to see if I can eat all the Game Boy cartridges and the Game Boy Advanced. See if I can eat the Game Boy Advance cartridge and the Game Boy Advance. I ended up eating part of Pokemon and cracked the screen with my teeth. Before you say anything, this is not fake, and I was later diagnosed with pica. Okay, checks out. I'm willing to believe this to a degree. I wouldn't imagine it tastes good. It tastes better in a Switch game. Not a sin. Medical issue. Just seems like it would be difficult. My aunt and I can be pretty unaware of our surroundings sometimes. One time when I was like 6, we both left a restaurant, got in the car, and didn't realize we both had a napkin on our shirts like fucking idiots. You were 6. What's her excuse? Just kind of funny and cute. Yeah, this one's not a sin. It's adorable. I don't know if I'm demisexual or I just don't talk to enough people to tell if I develop an attraction at all. I still don't super understand demisexual, I'll be real. But all the same, like, maybe you should talk to more people in general, because like that's probably just good for you. And then I don't know. Demisexual is like no sexual attraction until you know someone super well enough. Okay. Okay, so like it's like is it like that, like, was it sapiosexual thing? No? Sapiosexual is attraction to intelligence. So like, right, so like, but the only way to know that is if you get to know them first. Sapiosexual, I think, was some bullshit that someone came up with. Sapiosexual is sexual attraction to posting on Quora 9 hours a day. So I get, yeah, okay. So sapiosexual, like, you would get attracted to like Albert Einstein despite not knowing anything else about him. Whereas demisexual, you'd have to like get to know him personally before you could get to that level. Okay. How many confessions are in queue? At least 40. We got quite a few. Sorry for multi-posting, but I wanted to clarify that it's demi-romantic / demisexual. Not that I have any idea which applies to me more. Okay. I don't think that's a sin. When I was a teen, I was swinging my arms at a fair and I accidentally slapped a child. Did not apologize. I used the chaos at the fair to get away as the child cried. Just come here, kid. And away I go. Sin, but very funny. I once logged into someone's account by accident on some MMO web-based game hosted by Nickelodeon's website. Their username was SpongeBob and their password was also SpongeBob. I didn't expect it to work, so I freaked out and logged out. Amazing? Funny as fuck. That last story actually reminds me of like I was walking around the mall. I was a mall rat growing up as a teenager, yeah. And so I was wandering around the mall, and this kid Must have been like, I don't know. It's knee high to me. What? What's a mall? It's a. Are you real? It's like, okay, so the way that malls work, it's a weird zoning thing that happened in America that like it counts as one store or something. So they just like jammed as many stores into one building as possible. So you can go to the mall and you can get food, you can get clothes. You generally go to the mall if you want to get like some shirts or something, you know? You're like not super sure of what you want. If you ever have to ask which sexual identity you want to shoebox yourself into, you're doing it wrong. Explore yourself, then decide. Never ever look at a list and be like, oh, that sounds nice. Your identity isn't a sorting hat. Yeah, I mean, I get what you're saying. I think more importantly, it's important to notice that, like, sexuality, romance, all that jazz is like a spectrum of weird bullshit, and you're just you, whatever that is. We come up with names for it and stuff just to make it make sense. So you don't actually have to like have a name for it unless if it's helpful to you, you know? Anyway, this story is also based. I can't delete that one. Hold on. I didn't read that one yet. We'll come to that one later. Oh, I know you guys did. I read something about he, him, pussy and just kept scrolling because I'm like, we're not to that one yet. Man, like when I'm scrolling, I can read just fast enough to be able to read shit, and I read some real curse shit coming up. Okay, right. No, we got this one. Okay. I forgot to show up to my elementary school graduation because I was too invested in watching Avatar: The Last Airbender, and I didn't realize that I fucked up until I was almost 11. I mean, it's elementary school. Like, it's fine. It's fine. Base. What's that mall story? Oh, right, yeah. So I was a mall rat as a kid. And what I mean by mall rat, you furries in chat that are trying to assign me one, is someone who, it's slang for someone who, like, just hangs out in a mall all the time. Especially, like, teenagers. Just love to just hang out in malls because it's one of the few places that we wouldn't get harassed growing up. The mall cops would still harass you and that kind of thing. Which mall was it? It was Lakeline Mall. I spent an excessive amount of time in Lakeline Mall in Cedar Park. Because I was homeschooled and that was our like general meetup place. It was essentially as expensive or as free as you wanted to make it. So the kids that like, you know, didn't have a fuck ton of money, didn't have to like, I don't know. I went to Highland Mall as a different one, not Highland. I went to Highland a few times growing up. It was a skating park. It was basically a dead mall. Was this you? Is it gonna be a kid with trip pants? Anyway, So I was wandering around the mall, and there's this little kid, maybe like 5 or so. And every time I'd pass by, the kid was like, "Hi!" And so me, like, I've always been taught that, like, kids need to understand that the world is, like, kind, so that way they can, like, also be kind growing up. So I'm like, I'm gonna reciprocate that energy, right? So when the kid's like, "Hi," I was like, "Hey," or "Hi there," right? Anyway, I was wandering around the mall for a bit, and I kept running into this kid, and this kid would say hello to me every fucking time. And so, again, like, I just want this kid to, like, understand that the world is, like, caring, so that way they don't do that thing where it's like, "Oh, well, you know, the real world's hard, so deal with it," you know? Like, the kind of fucking person that would be like, "Fuck you, kid, grow up and get a job. Stop wasting my tax money on your school, bitch." You know what I mean? Anyway, I was trying to do, "Welcome to real world, punk." Kick the kid, trip him, mug his mom. Anyway, so some girls approximately my age started following me around and were like giggling every time it would happen. So I probably could have achieved something there. I don't know if they were laughing at me or they thought I was cute. One of the two. I was not a player. I was one pocket protector short of being a fucking stereotype at that age, so. I forgot to show up to my elementary. Okay, we read that one, yeah. I pee in bathroom sinks regularly because it's easier and quicker. I can just wash the basin of the water afterwards. Pissing in the toilet bowl can also be way more inaccurate than you would believe post-orgasm, and cleaning that is much more of a hassle. Sin, you didn't need to share this. Sometimes I put random objects in my mouth because I'm just really curious to figure out how they would taste. Is that real weird? Yeah, that's an intrusive thought. It's really weird. I do the same thing. I'm deeply attracted to Lionels from Breath of the Wild. All right, hold up. That's a centaur. That's not a single person, that's a race of people. That's just a straight up centaur. With like demon horns. Y'all are, touch grass, y'all are down bad. Is fucking a mermaid bestiality? Dude, I don't have the fucking time or energy to get into that conversation with you. When I was in daycare, one of my classmates had a younger brother who would routinely run into my path when I was on the swings, often stopping to stare in my direction. This would time and time again lead to me accidentally kicking him, and he'd run off crying and I'd get in trouble for it. His sister would berate me for knocking him over, even after making my case that it was his fault. After a while, I stopped caring because by making it a habit, it was his problem, not mine. Yeah, how often do you have to have that happen before the teachers are like, "Hold up, this other kid's actually kind of dumb"? We're just beating the fuck out of children today, aren't we? Just random assault and theft. You guys were fucking criminals as children. Based. A couple years ago, I had a fucked up dream of seeing Mickey Mouse grope my mom and whisper in her ear. I don't get why I had this dream to this day. Renasco Witch, are you here? Because this is, I recognize your typing style. This is you, isn't it? I fucking know. I used to be what some might refer to as a Reddit atheist back in like middle school. I used to be very open about it. Well, you didn't have to say you were open about it. Everyone fucking knows when you say you're a Reddit atheist. Be very open about that fact, and I was confident that things that weren't material simply weren't real. I got many threats for it, and I would respond in turn with hostility because I firmly believed that they couldn't hurt me because their God wasn't real. I feel awful looking back at it, and I've left atheism behind since it just made things feel real empty. Normally, like, okay, I'm gonna point it out. You could be an atheist, but not a Reddit atheist. You can just like not believe in God, and then that's it. Like, you don't have to tell anyone. Yeah, it sounds like normal teenager shit. When I went to community college, there's this kid who, like, no matter what you thought you were going to talk about, you were somehow going to be talking about fucking, like, the Catholic Church and shit. And it's just like, look, what they're doing to kids is fucked up. But I don't have a fucking, like, god damn. No one wants someone to be preachy about their religion. And, like, even if it's atheism, like, it's fucking annoying is what that is. Like, you can be an atheist without being annoying about it. Like, we don't want to hear about your religious preferences. No one wants to know that. I want to order a pizza without cheese. I'm not lactose intolerant. I just think cheese sucks. You sound like you're old enough to be able to order a pizza. Do it. Sin? Fuck it, dude. If this person wants to work their 9 to 5, come home, and then order a pizza with no fucking cheese on it, that's fucking based of them. I don't give a shit. You do you, man. Can I be anti-theist while still being respectful of other religious people? Yes. Yes. Because it's the actions that they take that's the real important part. Reddit atheists might be like, oh, like, I don't know, your delusions are gonna cause more pain or whatever. Listen, it's there are people who are religious who don't fucking do that shit. You know? Like, I don't know where I put myself religiously, but like, I don't shit on other people's religions just because, like, I shit on what it makes people do, you know? If you're like anti-gay rights, anti-women, but also like you believe that student loan debt shouldn't be forgiven, and I'm just like, dude, be consistent in your beliefs. The Bible says that no debt should last more than, you know, no loan or debt should last more than 7 years. That's in the Bible. You also can't wear mixed fabric, you know? So you can't wear like a cotton polyester blend. That's like also equal sin to being gay. And when you start putting it that way, then it starts being like, is it really that bad? You know? That's when I start getting up in people's faces about religion and shit. You can't boil a goat in its own mother's milk. They're quite specific about that. Sure. I tried to ask the people downstairs for a keyboard, but they don't know their but I didn't know their language and ended up trying to open their door because after I prepared Google Translate phrase, I've heard a sound of the door unlocking. How welcoming, I thought. They in fact closed the door as soon as they saw me. I apologized and left. What? I avoid them to this day. What? What does this mean? Was this like someone that you were working with? Cringe because I don't understand what the fuck this means. This is like apartment or work, because it's very different. If it's work, it's fucking funny as shit. If it's an apartment, I'm just like, why would they give you a keyboard? What? There's a new arcade out, and I need to go hang out in that chat for arcade. Let's three more. This one counted, and then I'll go hang out in the arcade video. Sin. First time I had sex was in a field next to an HEB. We got poison ivy on our everything. Yeah, you would. You would. Because poison ivy's fucking everywhere here. Cock itchy. Yeah. You've heard of STDs. Now get ready for poison ivy on your cock. I just got top surgery. Slay. And every 30 minutes, I poke my chest to see where my nipples are. I've had no success. My nipple location is still a mystery. And it is the worst part of my recovery. My whole chest is so numb, I will only find out next Wednesday. Well, props for you getting your top surgery done. I hope it goes well, and I hope your nipples end up being in a normal, okay spot. Never had to say that sentence before, but I actually really mean that. Oh yeah, their nipples have already, like, you know. Plot twist, this is sent by a Warhammer figure. Oh man, I'm so glad I got my top surgery done. Wait, where's my Imperial Knight model? Who do you think took your tit? Sorry. Okay. I gotta go be there for the new arcade. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys tomorrow with something. I gotta do some stuff in the morning, so I might be a little late on stream. We're still dealing with stuff with the apartment, but by and large part, everything is getting better. I'm gonna go do this arcade thing, so that way I can be there for them, because I like to talk to people while arcade is happening. So go check my arcade, RevScarecrow arcade, and I'll see you guys there, and I'll see you tomorrow. Thank you for watching. Bye.